Hello everybody, welcome. It's been a long time since I've posted anything, but today I have a very interesting topic to discuss. So I've been reading a lot of articles, and also I have seen a lot of videos yesterday because I just was fallen into this rabbit hole of YouTube algorithm where I just kept on watching a lot of videos. This is a very interesting topic which I want to discuss today, which is Advait philosophy versus Buddhism versus a bit of Dvaitism, which I believe is Bhakti movement in terms of Hindu philosophy, and also touching a bit upon monotheism, which is Abrahamic religions, which I don't know a lot, but let's just explore. I mean, don't take a word for whatever I say. Like it's not sure that whatever I say is factually correct. Whatever I'm going to tell is just based on what I, as a human being, have experienced and what people around me have told me. Uh, I have not read a lot of scriptures, in fact, not any of the scriptures properly in depth. So, every bit of knowledge which I am going to share is based on the perceived information of any 22-year-old Hindu boy living in Delhi. So, yeah, the natural perception which all of us share, I think I have that kind of information. Also, like whatever the popular, Reddit channels, YouTube videos, and whatever. So first, let's talk about the interesting part, which is Advait philosophy. So basically, I want to talk about a few people who were hinting towards Advait philosophy, and I honestly feel that Advait is very similar to Buddhism in a lot of ways, but there are very slight differences, which I will also discuss according to me. So first, I would like to mention a few people. Okay, and these people are Indian people born between 1900 to 2000. Means I'm talking about the previous century, and these were one of the greatest people, and they have done a lot of great work, and I really have a lot of respect for each one of them. I'm not going to take popular names. I mean, not mainstream popular. Like for example, Paramahansa Yogananda is way too popular, so I don't want to mention him here. I'll start off with J. Krishnamurti. So I got to him. I read about him. I don't know how. I think it was Deep Knowledge YouTube channel 3-4 years ago. So I guess I'm guessing that he is the source from where I reached to J. Krishnamurti, and his background story is very interesting and very like mystical story. Like a boy, and he was adopted by Theosophical Society, and then he went through a lot of struggle, and then he told the truth is a pathless land. Basically, this line itself opened a lot of deep thoughts inside of me, that okay, whatever the truth is, it might be different for every different person, and hence the path to reach that might also be different. When I say the truth is different from different people, is because I don't think that any experience can be same. If I see a photo, then that will be different for me, and hence it will be different for someone else. But the photo is a photo, obviously that is something absolute, but how I perceive that photo is going to be different. And that is why I think that if all the religions, if I believe that every religion, popular religion which exists today, was made from a very good intention to liberate people, to make them free from suffering, or well-being of people, then I think all of them were looking at the same painting, but their own perception of that painting was different, and hence different practices, and hence they laid forth their own path, and they thought that this path is going to be the right path, and some of them were very strict, and hence not everybody, I think, was evolved enough to understand that there can be different ways to reach to that. So this is what J. Krishnamurti was the first person, and he used to avoid uh, every possible way for him to be regarded as great person, which is common amongst a lot of people whom I'm going to mention. Uh, and also, like, he often used to say about thoughtless state, a state of awareness, a state where you are able to avoid thoughts is the way to reach that painting, which is liberation. So I was watching a lot of videos, podcasts, everything, a little bit of reading his books, and I was amazed, but I was not able to comprehend a lot of it. But whatever I was hearing was something crazy. It was something I had never heard before. So it's like, when people start reading Osho, they get amazed because it is a completely crazy different worldview. And similarly, I think I was introduced to all of this because of J. Krishnamurti. So for me, he was that person who showed that there's this different way of philosophy. And the best part was that, unlike all the spiritual preachers, he was very hardworking. He kept on speaking and helping people, and his speeches were like, you could look into him and feel like, oh my god, this guy is crazy. How is he doing so much welfare and had nothing, no possession, nothing. And his philosophy was also so generic, like, you can never claim that, okay, this process is of J. Krishnamurti. He always preached a generic methodology of something. It was crazy experience trying to read him and understand him and listen him speaking. Then I got a book of Ramana Maharishi. I read that book in bits. I could not complete it from start to end, but I read in bits. I don't remember a lot of it. I remember few portions of it. That he was a born prodigy in spirituality, and he was, I think, 12-year-old, and he was meditating, and he was liberated, and hence a prodigy, spiritual prodigy. And all I remember is that he had a lot of conversations in his book about waking state, sleeping state, comparing consciousness, and also comparing what you are when you are sleeping, and some like these kind of conversations were going on. I tried to make a lot of sense out of them, and I did my first what is that said, bhang experience after that. So I was able to deduce a few things. Not sure that it was same as what he was saying, but I had my own way of dealing with that crazy experience which I had with bhang, and I could understand that this is a state which is something which can help me accelerate my spiritual journey. But I didn't do that after 2 times because I just was not strong enough, I guess, for using substances for that. So yeah, just that much about Ramana Maharishi. Next, again, a spiritual prodigy. I had seen a lot of photos of her, read about her in Autobiography of Yogi. Her name is Anand Mahima, and yesterday I saw a lot of documentary bits of her documentary, and I just saw a lot of clips, a lot of her philosophy, and just what people had to say about her. And she was also a spiritual prodigy. Hence, when you see her photos and clips, you can clearly make out that she's in a state of trance. She is in a state of what can I say when I'm trying to explain this state. She's in a state where she is not identifying herself with her body. This could be a very good way to answer that question. So yeah, again, spiritual prodigy. But like with J. Krishnamurti, you can always relate that he was put through a lot of work, and hence he reached there. Then we'll talk about 3 more people. I'll talk about Nisargadatta Maharaj, and I will talk about S.N. Goenka, and I will talk about Buddha himself a little bit. Okay. So Nisargadatta Maharaj was initiated into spiritual practice when he was 31, 32, and he was a BD smoker. He had a shop for this. A very common uneducated man, and oh my God, I think he has explained Advait better than any of the books and anything I have heard. Like he and one more person, I don't know his name. I saw his video. He explained it in 2 minutes to me, and I was able to understand what he's trying to say. But Nisargadatta Maharaj was also pointing to the same thing, and he was shouting and telling it very clearly, but I was not able to get it. But if you read his book and if you see his videos, if you see what he stood for, it's crazy. He is pointing to Advait philosophy inside out without even knowing that this is Advait. He just knows that this is how the life is. This is what the reality is. So post I describe about these guys, I will talk about what I think they are talking about. So again, a person who worked for 3 years and was able to reach to a level where people cannot reach in many lifetimes is Nisargadatta Maharaj. Then SN Goenka, I practiced. I went for Vipassana for 10 days in Bodh Gaya, and that experience was, I think, also one of the big milestones in this journey which I'm trying to understand. And for me, honestly, like, I'm not going to lie, that experience was so profound and I didn't find it very difficult. I went when I was very young. I was 19, 20. So I didn't have a lot of baggage. So all the practices which they were explaining were very easy for me to follow compared to people around me. Like physically also, and also emotionally, I was very strong and I didn't have any attachments in my life. I had a few, obviously. I figured them out during those 10 days, but very less. So again, a person, normal businessman, initiated into this practice for a couple of years, and he has opened his own way of preaching this, and it is again a very pure form of like the way he has created his structure. It's like people cannot, his teachings cannot be diluted easily. They cannot be manipulated because his own audio is commanding you like crazy. It's crazy. Like, oh my God, the fact that he was able to compile all of his learnings into discourses and in such a way that he's not with you but he is with you, and people who go for Vipassana will understand what I'm trying to say. So I explain people who are not going, who have not gone for Vipassana. There for 10 days, from first day to last day, all the instructions are given by this man himself who died in 2014, 15, 16, something like that. I don't remember the year. But like someone who died 10 years ago, he's going to give you every instruction which you will follow. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So a very good example of how you can formalize a method. So J. Krishnamurti renounced all processes, all methods, didn't give any mantras, any methods to reach the ultimate. Nisargadatta Maharaj was a preacher who just was saying it out loud what reality is, not giving processes to a few disciples, but he was shouting out loud what the reality is. J. Krishnamurti is telling the easiest, a process which if you follow you can reach there, but he's not telling what that state is. SN Goenka is telling you exact process which if you follow you will reach closer to that. And Anandamayi Ma is embodiment of a person who is always in that state. So she's a personified version of that ultimate. And Ramana Maharishi, I wish I knew more, but I don't. So these all experiences are happening. Now I will get to Advaita versus Buddhism, and also a bit about Advaitism and my problems with how some I will get to it. So Advait philosophy is, I will try to explain it. So I will try 2-3 methods if you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Also, obviously this is picked up from different teachers. I have experienced like 5% of whatever I'm trying to say, so I might be wrong, so don't take my word as absolute. But yeah, so whatever there is which you see, and whatever which you can perceive, that is not you. Whatever you are perceiving, you are seeing, you are feeling, that is not you. Because when you are not seeing, perceiving, observing, then also you are you. For example, okay, so I am seeing a person in front of me, okay? So think of, this is, let me see how can I explain. I wish I could explain it, but overall it's like my mind is a screen, and everything is happening on my screen, and that screen is formed, that screen which you are seeing, it is formed out of my own thoughts, my own projection of reality. So whatever I am seeing, I combine it with my experiences and my thoughts, and it projects upon my consciousness, and based on that my reality exists. So whatever I am seeing, it is not reality, because I cannot see whatever there is as is, because I will always dilute it with my own perception of that. So this is not reality. And what you are, okay, so you are projecting your thoughts and experiences on your reality. What you are is also not constant, it also changes. It also is depends on your mood, on what your sensation, what your body is feeling. So overall, the whole reality is a myth, it's nothing. So whatever there is the person who's seeing that projection, but that projection is your thoughts and the things which you are perceiving, and you are ego. Like your body, mind is your ego which forms that projection, but the thing which is looking at that projection is the reality, it's the real. So in words of J. Krishnamurti, if you want to see the reality, try to look at it without any thoughts, without any perception, without any preconceived notion. If you can do that, you might be closer to the reality. Also, you yourself, your body, mind, whatever you are seeing or observing, or your thoughts or your feelings, are also not you. Because if you don't have your legs, if you don't have your hands, if you don't have your stomach, you are still you. So you are not your body for sure. Your thoughts change, so you are not your thoughts as well. So what are you? If you if you get ill due to schizophrenia, so you are experiencing crazy reality, your reality changes, your reality is not reality. So let's take this example. If I'm suffering from a mental disease where my reality is distorted, which is I think schizophrenia, so the reality of others is not my reality, and my reality is based on my own mental condition, which is also not in my control. So basically, whatever you are seeing is nothing. Whatever you are seeing is, it's not you. Now I will go to what S.N. Goenka had to say, or Buddhism's stance on this. So Buddhism makes it even more simpler for people to understand. Buddhism says that your body sensations is not you. Obviously, your thoughts is not you. So these two things are same in Advaita and Buddhism. Buddhism says that causes of suffering are two, which is there are two causes of suffering: being scared of pain, or being attached to happiness. So this is asakti and dvesh. These are the two terms. So asakti is being attached to a good feeling, and dvesh is the feeling of being scared of getting pain again, kind of a thing. So these two are the things which are cause of suffering, and you have to understand that these things are not permanent, and hence you have to, so basically reality is beyond this, something like that. But it does not commentate on whether the world is whole a illusionary experience or not. But the Advait is very clear on its stance on this. Whatever you are experiencing, it's not reality. The experiencer, without